Nebraska is hosting multiple brand new elite transfers on visits over the next couple days. So in today's video, I'm going to introduce you to all these guys, who they are, what they bring to the table, what school they come from, and everything you need to know. So really quick, jam-packed Nebraska transfer portal update. Make sure to hit that like button. And also, we are 50 subscribers away from 9,000. If you're a returning viewer, please subscribe. I post daily Husker football content, transfer portal updates, coaching carousel updates, recruiting updates, breaking news, whatever you want, I got you covered. So please, if you are a diehard Nebraska fan, join the best family here on Husker YouTube and subscribe. Let's hit 9,000 today. I'm so grateful for all of you guys. But without further ado, let's get into it. Going over this update, Nebraska is hosting multiple big-time transfers on campus over the next couple days, and all of them are new names. Let's get this started with arguably one of the best corners in the transfer portal. He just entered yesterday. This is Andrew Marshall, transferring from Idaho, has 2 years of eligibility left, spent 2 years with the Vandals, and to put it blankly, he is a stud lockdown corner, was one of the best corners in all of FCS football. He is visiting tomorrow on Wednesday, again listed at 6 foot tall, about 190, and when you watch him on film, number one, he's a true man-to-man corner, has great speed, great acceleration, great just general footwork, and he can keep up with any wide receiver around the country. But one thing I also like about him that's really underrated, he's a great special teams player, particularly in that return game. He had a 100-yard kick return for a touchdown in Idaho's one of their last games. So this is a guy who's great on defense, great on special teams. He's a dynamic athlete, and he is visiting Nebraska tomorrow on Wednesday. You know, we always say in recruiting that the last visit is the best visit, but in the transfer portal, you want to get that first visit. You want to get that first impression so you can lock them down as quick as possible. There's significant interest there in Andrew Marshall. I expect him to land with the Huskers. Again, he will be in Lincoln tomorrow. And this guy's an absolute stud, true boundary man-to-man corner, a guy who is getting a bunch of attention around other Power 4 programs. It was one of the best corners in all of FCS football. So once again, he will be on campus tomorrow. Let's get to the second player here. This is A.J. Pina, transferring from Rhode Island, 1 year of eligibility left, and was one of the best edge rushers in all of FCS football. Again, he will be visiting tomorrow. He had 12 sacks last year in 44 quarterback pressures overall, had about 81 tackles and 50 stops on the season. This guy was an absolute beast, broke a bunch of records, was one of the best players in all of FCS football. And you can see a theme here in the transfers that Nebraska and Matt Rhule that they're going after. They want production over everything else. It doesn't matter who these guys are coming from, what opponents they're playing. I mean, both these guys are FCS guys, but they're phenomenal in the stat sheet. They're phenomenal on film. I don't care, if you're a Power 4 player, you're a Group of 5 player, if you're an FCS player, if you can play football at an elite level and you have great stats, I want you here in Nebraska. Matt Rhule has that same mindset, and this guy is an absolute stud. Again, one of the most gifted pass rushers I've seen. The fact that he has 12 sacks on the year, are you kidding me? And again, he's going to be likely a Nebraska commit, is visiting tomorrow, has a bunch of other offers as well, but really like where the Huskers stands. And he's going to be in the mix to start at that 3 technique spot if the Huskers can lock him down. So really good corner, really good edge rusher. Let's keep it pushing with another visit here. This is Adrian Maddox, transferring from UAB. He'll be on campus Friday. Now, this guy is an absolute stud. Again, this is a strong safety. Let's at 6'3", 200 pounds, 1 year of eligibility remaining. And I watched this guy on film. He is a hard hitting safety, a guy who can lay the boom on just about everybody, has really good instincts in the pass game. Again, you look at the stats from last year, 44 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 7 passes defended, really freak athlete, guy with good speed, but overall, I mean, he can cover a lot of ground very quickly. Really like where Nebraska stands here. Now, he is also visiting Arkansas today, so it should be noted that he will be in Arkansas. There's also some interest from Missouri. So a lot of solid SEC schools are going after him, but Nebraska has locked down a visit with him for Friday, so watch out for him. We need help in the secondary. Nebraska is finally addressing that in the portal with Adrian Maddox and Andrew Marshall. So watch out for him. Really hard-hitting safety, like where we stand there. 1 year of eligibility remaining. Hopefully, we can really make a good impression on that visit Friday. Let's go back to the defensive line because Nebraska has been incredibly aggressive at that position over the last couple of days. Jalen George is currently on a visit with the Huskers. He got here yesterday. He's also going to be here today. Transfer from ETSU, has 2 years of eligibility remaining. Last year for them had 33 tackles, 23 QB pressures. I know you see the stat sheet and you say only half a sack. He had 23 pressures, so he's a guy who can get to the quarterback. He was first team all-conference in FCS and a guy who graded out very well according to Pro Football Focus. So I know the stats don't look amazing here, but we're talking about a guy whose impact is better than the box sheet. And he has a lot of really, really good offers in the transfer portal to prove it. So 2 years of eligibility remaining and 6'2", 170. He said in an interview recently that he wants to get this process done and wrapped up with. So if he likes his visit and Nebraska has a committable offer on the table, which I imagine they do, things look like the Huskers will land Jalen George. But again, I'd say he's a really good player. I think he has a lot of high upside. Sure, the stat sheet isn't phenomenal, but the fact that he graded out so well in PFF, and got 23 quarterback pressures, that is interesting to me. And again, not all these guys are going to start for Nebraska. A lot of these guys are just depth pieces, but he's a guy who's really productive. First team all-conference, come on. He's a good player. I'm excited if the Huskers can land him there on that defensive line. Let's keep it with the defensive line here with now an edge rusher. This guy, DJ Wosolak, is a former four-star recruit from the class of 2022, had over 50 offers. He originally committed to Missouri, then went over to Oregon State, and then he entered the transfer portal. So he'll be visiting Nebraska on Thursday. Now, listen, I'll be completely honest with you. Pretty much no production in his college career. He's been in college for 3 years, redshirted his first year, and other than that, really hasn't gotten involved. But we're talking about a guy who has upside. Again, was a former four-star recruit. Again, if we were to land him, he's just depth. Nebraska needs depth. They need depth at edge rusher. They need depth at D tackle. And he's a guy who has high upside. So he's going to be taking a visit on Thursday. We'll see what happens there. Again, he's just a depth piece, but I like that we're addressing that aspect because we really lost a lot of guys in the portal. Not all these are going to be home runs, but he's a guy who does have a good potential. And again, is a former four-star recruit, 2 years of eligibility remaining. Let's get into back to the defensive line. Gabe Moore is coming on a visit for the Huskers. Now, this is a guy who was a 3-star recruit coming out of the class of 2023, redshirted his initial year with Mississippi State, and going into 2024, he was actually projected to play a lot in their 2 deep. However, he held out of that season due to personal medical issues, so he didn't play in 2024, and then ended up entering the transfer portal. But this is a guy who honestly has a lot of potential as a nose tackle, 6'4", about 300 pounds. I think, again, another depth piece here, but all 4 years of eligibility remaining. Really can't really go wrong with that, but he will be on a visit for Nebraska, I believe, tomorrow. So watch out for Gabe Moore. All 4 years of eligibility left. Again, just a depth piece. Probably not going to start for the Huskers, but it's a low-risk type of move, and the Huskers definitely have interest here. So he'll be visiting, I believe, tomorrow. Last but not least, have to get to Mr. Isaiah Hunter. He will be on campus tomorrow as well. Now, he has narrowed his list down to 2 schools, Nebraska and K-State. He will be visiting Nebraska today and K-State on Friday. I like where the Huskers stand here. Again, this is the guy I probably want the most out of the transfer portal. He was Cal's Ja'Cory Barney. Really good speed, really good hands, 6'2", 3 years of eligibility remaining. You look at the stat sheet, he's absolutely phenomenal. Cal fans were very mad to see him leave. I think Isaiah Hunter is an absolute stud. We'll see what happens here, but the fact that the Huskers are in his final 2 is very good. And if it becomes a bidding war with Kansas State, I feel good about where our NIL stands compared to them. So should be noted, he's narrowed that list down to 2, Nebraska and Kansas State. Nebraska on Wednesday, Kansas State on Friday. I'd imagine we get it a commitment maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So watch out for Isaiah Hunter, but the Huskers have been very aggressive going after him. Very happy with this recruiting process because I think this guy's an absolute stud, and I want him alongside Mr. Eric Rivers and Mr. Ja'Cory Barney. That would be a heck of a wide receiver core for Dylan Raiola and this Huskers offense. So Man, a loaded visiting weekend, or I should say weekdays, over the next couple days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, these are all of those guys who will be on visit. So let me know down below your thoughts about every single one of those guys I just went after, who you want the most, who you're excited for, a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of edge rushers. Let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far on the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go Big Red, go Rhule, and see the next one. And also, if we do hit 9,000 a day, it looks like we will. So appreciative of all you guys. I'm thankful for you. Now let's get to 10,000. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. All right, guys. Once again, go Big Red, go Rhule, and see you in the next one.